What's the Bitcoin price prediction? What's going to happen with Bitcoin by the end of 2024 and indeed by the end of 2025? Some people are even saying it can hit 1 million by the end of 2025. Well, let's give you some realism. I'm a financial advisor, so let's tell you exactly what's happening right now. You're getting an increase in Bitcoin right at this second. It's up to 65 again and it's set to go higher. Why? We've got a number of things that we've got a correlation with. First of all, when the dollar starts to depreciate, Bitcoin tends to increase. So you've got the Fed reducing interest rates, more interest rate falls to come. That's going to increase the price of Bitcoin. Right now, however, the US government, they don't want to go into an election with the dollar weaker than they'd like. So they want to make sure that at least it's maintaining to roughly its current status. It's not going to fall off a cliff. Whereas Donald Trump, if he gets into power, he's quite in favor of making America the crypto center of the world. And he doesn't mind actually having a lower dollar. He actually thinks it's better for trade in many different ways. So current government, they want to push the dollar. That's not going to help Bitcoin go and accelerate. But we got an election coming up on the 4th of November. Bitcoin set, if Donald Trump in particular wins, but either way, in my opinion, to go higher. It's also a correlation, interestingly, with China. When China starts to do well, when there's more money invested in technology, Bitcoin tends to do well. In fact, there's a direct correlation over the last 8 years on how China's doing with its technology and Bitcoin. So, could it be a run? Again, it points in favour positive for Bitcoin. Of course, we're living in a world where there's more and more AI, there's more and more tech. It's only reasonable to think that we should be using digital currencies. And let's face it, Bitcoin is more digital, certainly compared to gold. It's something that is an asset and a store in value. So the opportunity for it to really increase is massive. For me, by the end of the year, I think it's certainly going to hit its peak again. I think it's going to hit 80,000, and I can see next year in 2025 it going over 100,000. Will it hit 1 million at some stage? Who knows? Okay, reality is you should always diversify. Reality is there's lots of countries that are struggling, like Venezuela, for example, massive inflation, and those people in those countries want to invest in some stability. Even if America ends up with instability after an election, guess what? Again, people will turn to Bitcoin. For me, the future's rosy. Always diversify, because something's going to happen in the world that can change your ring around. But you can get a rough idea on what things are going to do well. One of those things, for me, is Bitcoin.